Everyone's got an opinion about Chainlink and XRP, but here's the reality. Both of these coins have been through 90% drawdowns. If you'd held them through, you'd be still waiting just to be back to even. So today I'm putting aside the hype and showing you the facts, the real data, the actual use cases, and where these projects stand right now. By the end, you can decide for yourself if either deserves your conviction. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start off with Chainlink. All right. I see so much on X all the time. All right. For and against XRP, for and against Chainlink. Okay. But let's start with this. This one is, they bring really good points up here in this post. Link Marines have sources for all of their claims, unlike XRP. This is Swift telling you, this guy right here, they are going live with Chainlink at the end of 2025 or early 2026. We're just getting started. Let's take a look at this. Link is everything people thought XRP was supposed to be, onboarding the world's largest institutions on chain. Swift, DTCC, Euroclear, JP Morgan, MasterCard, Central Bank of Brazil, UBS, SBI, ANZ, Fidelity International, and more. And you can see, here, there's some big names here. You can't deny this, Swift probably being the biggest one because that's where you're going to be able to transfer money, right? And a lot of people rely on that. But, who knows? Maybe it's not even this, right? Like maybe people are like actually transferring money not through Swift, but through like WhatsApp, But let's move on to the next thing. All right. I finally pulled the plug. I've seen a lot of this. I don't know if y'all are seeing this, especially you XRP maxis out there, but I don't know if you're seeing this or if you've made the switch. But I finally pulled the plug, sold every bit of my XRP for Link. Wow. This guy was like, he gets crucified here. Been holding on for years, waiting for those NDAs and mysterious partnerships, which I kind of agree with, to magically appear. Nothing. Meanwhile, Chainlink is out here publicly working with Swift, DTCC, Euroclear. We already know all of those things. So this is a pretty interesting thing. And you even have, this right here. Like you don't have something like this that I can find anywhere in regards to XRP that's like publicly available for us to see. And then you can see just right here on the front of their website, they've got all of these huge names, not just DeFi, but also TradFi, UBS, Fidelity, Aave, GMX, EtherFi. Like we use GMX every single day here. EtherFi is something that we just started doing as well. We're now using EtherFi to spend our money, but Chainlink is very involved with that. Pendle, Swisscom, like this is just a mixture of TradFi and DeFi. And if you go through here, there's just lots and lots of articles about who they're linking up with. And, again, you can just kind of come in here. They're linking up with Emirates. There's lots of news about Brazil's central bank, ANZ, et cetera, et cetera. So there's like a lot of movement here on the Chainlink side. All right. But let's take a look at the chart for both of these. Okay. So here's the chart for both of these. So this is Chainlink. You would have had to have, for those of you that are in the Link Marines, right, a lot of conviction to have bought up here, right, which a lot of people did because that's why the price got up to there to begin with, right, and then held through this or even dollar cost averaged through this, all right? This is a painful thing, and you're still not up. You're still not up to all-time highs. Again, we still have almost 100% return to go in order to get back to the all-time highs, right? So this to me is also not a good strategy. It's just like buying and holding and praying, all right, that you're going to do really well. And you can even see here recently, all right, from December to April of this year, Chainlink dropped 67%. It's not something that I want to be, holding through at that time. All right. Let's take a look at XRP. XRP from the wick up here in January of 2018. January 2018, all the way down to here to its bottom in March of 2020. I mean, this was a painful thing. You're sitting there like, the banks are coming, man. The banks are coming. The banks never came. All right. And so why did XRP drop that much? Because there was no use case for it. If there was, like, people were using it, it would be a lot different. But even like Ethereum, where people were using it still went down by like 90 some percent. I don't think it went down quite this much, but 96%, that's a big drop. And then we had a huge drop here back from April of 2021 all the way to June of 2022 of another 84% drop. Like, do you want to stomach through that? As you can see, both Chainlink and XRP have lived through brutal drawdowns of over 90%. And here's the truth. No matter how strong your conviction is, sitting through that type of pain can wipe out years of gains. That's exactly why we're hosting a 2-day event called the Passive Income Playbook. We're going to show you how to build your own DeFi bank. So instead of hoping and praying for that next pump, you can generate real income from your crypto every single month. We'll cover the exact strategies we use to avoid these massive drawdowns while still compounding wealth on the blockchain. But heads up, spots are limited and our early bird pricing goes away next week. If you're serious about escaping that HODL roller coaster and actually building cash flow with DeFi, make sure you grab your spot now. Links down below. Now let's jump back into XRP's info here. All right, so here's XRPL, okay? So this is the about section. And, you know, here we've got like the featured projects that are working with XRP. So you can see here, like, I don't recognize any of these. And this is kind of incestual, all right? Like XRP Scan, of course. I mean, Etherscan, right? Like BSC Scan, like, why wouldn't you have a place where you can look on the blockchain, right? Like on the dex.live. I don't even know what that is, all right? Cryptum, Evernode, X Token, again, incestual. 3ZY Labs, no clue who that is. Interoperable, I don't know what that means. Crossmark, Edge, Diamond, if this is even Diamond, I don't even know what that is. Xamon, like, who are these? I just don't. Maybe you guys can comment in the sections down below. And by the way, if you're seeing this video, like, if you're an XRP maxi or if you're a Link maxi, drop down below. I want to know who is more on the XRP side or the Link side and why. Okay, and why? And maybe I'm wrong about certain things, but look, like, there's just no big names here that I'm seeing. Ripple, okay, thank you. Like, obviously Ripple Design XRP, BitGo, GateHub. I mean, BitGo was probably the one that I know the most, but I don't see like Swift, JP Morgan Chase, like the big guys, or even any big names in DeFi like Aave or Pendle. I just don't see it here. Okay, now here's the thing about XRP. I'm gonna go into one thing that is like a total fallacy. And by the way, today is day 2 of this post. All right, so this is where you don't want to be listening to jokers like this. All right, countdown, 24 hours left. This is now or never. All right, breaking: XRP has just been successfully tested on Swift's network with over 11,000 banks worldwide, setting the stage for XRP to rocket towards 982 within hours. 48 hours. It's been 48 hours. XRP is not $982. It's like barely up 6% because like the Fed said that they're probably going to lower interest rates. All right, so watch out for this, because if XRP were to go to $982, I think it would be bigger than the market cap of all assets in the entire world. And some of you may be like, well, everything's going to be on XRP. No, it's not. There's something called competition. All right. And I'm not taking like XRP, like I'm not dogging it in a way that like there's going to be things on their blockchain, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. I'm just saying be realistic, because there is competition. There's Ethereum, there's Solana, there's, you know, Sui, there's all sorts of blockchains. There's Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's least likely that people are going to put things on its blockchain because it can't handle that scale. But still, all right, let's talk about this. So this is some good news, and this is all over the place, right? Dubai just chose XRP over Bitcoin for $16 billion real estate. Like, Bitcoin doesn't have really smart contracts, so that's just dumb. That's a dumb statement, all right? That makes no sense, but okay, this is good. This is hella good, right? Like, all of their real estate transactions, but like all of them? What if I'm not in crypto? You know? Okay, but this is good. This is good. This is one guy. I was really surprised to see this. XRP cannot hit 1K. XRP physically can't hit 1K. Have you guys done any research Or are you just blindly buying coins, expecting them all to 10x? If it were to hit 1K, which is impossible, its market cap would be 100 trillion. There you go. This is where I saw it, which is like 10x the global GDP. Again, you got to put on your thinking cap here when you're talking about XRP. Here's some big news for XRP. I don't know how big it's going to be, though, all right? But Gemini had this really cool ad in Times Squares, you know, but it's like, prepare your bags. Prepare your bags for what? Like, maybe XRP is your favorite crypto, right? And you can choose that, you know, you're going to have the XRP logo or the Bitcoin logo or the Ethereum logo on it. But like, MasterCard is not going to run XRP on their, you know, their thing. So it's like, you want to step away from the hype. All right. This is great. I don't know what this means. So we'll know in like a few days, because right now it's, you know, August 22nd. We'll know in a few days, but this is cool. All right. They didn't put Chainlink on here. They didn't put Cardano on here. They didn't put Ethereum on here. They put XRP. So, but also, Gemini's not stupid. Their marketing department knows that the XRP army is huge, and y'all are diehard. That's like, my hat's off to you guys. You guys have an abundance of conviction with this coin. And, you know, like, I really do hope you guys make a ton of money, except for the CBD side. Nobody wants a CBDC. Come on, seriously. You want a CBDC? All right. So Dubai, again, like, a lot of this stuff kind of like is coming out of Dubai right now from what I'm seeing for Ripple. I heard somebody like the other day, they're like, oh, Japan and Ripple. I'm like, all the banks in Japan are going to use Ripple. I'm like, all the banks? All the banks in Japan are not going to use Ripple. I can promise you that. Okay, it's just not nonsense. But in Dubai, okay, but this is just an ad in Dubai, right? So there's like, Dubai partners with Ripple to accept crypto for payments. If you're from Dubai, can you let me know in the chat? I'm curious, like, how is this being pumped up in Dubai? Like, is it a real thing in Dubai, or is it just like, I don't know, they just put like one ad there and somebody took a photo of it and they're like, oh, this Ripple's going to the moon, but it's Ripple. Did you notice that? It's Ripple, not XRP. Ripple is the company that developed, that still has the ability to create like these like private blockchains for banks to communicate between each other. And that doesn't have anything to do with XRP. But if it does, can you also let me know in the chat? I'm curious. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so let's take a look at this. So like, what if I was like trading this, which one would be a better bet for me? Which one do I see that may have more room to run? Okay. And let you be the judge. I actually want to see how many people would rather be in the position of buying Link right now or buying XRP right now. All right. So take a look at this. So if I were to buy Link today and hit XRP's all-time high, all right, I would be at an 11.9x or 12x return. That's a pretty big return. That's crazy. All right, that's a really, really good return. All right, and that can happen. That could happen. It happened to XRP, right? Now let's take a look at XRP. If XRP were to go up, and these all-time highs, I don't know if they're doing it based off of like monthly closes. Maybe they are, because I know XRP's been higher and I know Bitcoin's been higher. But this is market cap of, right? So 13.84x. All right, so 13.84x to hit Bitcoin's, which I don't know. Do you think it will hit Bitcoin's market cap or even higher? I just don't see who's using it yet, right? But maybe. And the XRP army is huge. Are you using XRP in the XRP army like to actually transfer money between countries? Are you already doing that? I'm curious. Or are you using their DeFi? I'm curious. Anyways, I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section down below if you are using XRP, if I'm wrong on some things, if I'm right on some things, if you're into Chainlink, if I'm right about Chainlink on some things, wrong about Chainlink on some things. And again, the link is down below. If you don't want to be having all this conviction for this stuff and you want to play things smarter, We're going to show you exactly how we're doing that in our Passive Income Playbook event. It's a 2-day event, 5 hours each day. We have some amazing speakers coming up. So there's a link down below. An early bird special ends in a few days. So get over there. It's $17. All right. See you guys on the next one. Cheers.